Hi everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. It's kind of been a while. If this is your first time here watching my YouTube videos, my name is Rocke and I used to be a makeup artist. Now I do brows, so it's been a little hectic, especially from COVID and all that stuff. Today we're going to be doing more of a minimal style makeup summery kind of look. Well, since it's summer now, but I also feel like natural makeup is very in. And I really love that, and I feel like as someone who has done YouTube videos and tries to post makeup looks as much as they can, it's less pressure to feel like you have to perfect a really heavy makeup look. So I feel like something more minimal like this is foolproof almost. You don't have to be a makeup artist to achieve it, and I feel like it just looks really nice and complimenting on anybody. So let's get into it today. I'm going to pull my hair back and try to apply a little bit of skincare so that way I prep my skin nice and clean and hydrated. My skin type is more dry, so I am going to be using products that are for more, drier skin types, but they're very simple, so if you want to try it out, you can too. So let me just pull my hair back and get ready for you guys. All right, got my little headband situation on so that way I can get right up against my hairline. So the first thing that I'm going to do is use a little bit of a hydrating toner. I never really used to be big on toners per se because I really didn't know what they did. But I use this all the time because I feel like it just, neutralizes my skin. I am dry, but sometimes if I don't hydrate enough, I get oily, like dehydration. So it's a weird combination. I use the Belif Aqua Hydrating Toner. I feel like it works the best for me because I don't want to feel sticky and I don't want to feel like I have a ton of residue on my face. So I'm going to use a little bit of cotton balls here, pour just a little bit on these. I don't want to fully drench my face, and I also don't want to waste product, but I use a little bit of this just so I can see what I'm doing. Just got a little bit of mirror. So I'm just going to start in my T-zone area first because I want to get most of my product there and then just kind of blend outwards. So another video I wanted to do for everyone because it's the most requested, is skincare for mask acne. If you've watched my stories or follow me on Instagram, I've been battling more cystic acne on the jawline area. I don't know why, I never really suffered from any acne, but I've just been getting it because it's just clogged pores, super oily and congested in that area. So hopefully I can maybe help you guys out. I still have a little bit that are healing in this area, but it's really not as bad as it has been. And of course, a couple of spots, but it's really not a big deal. So put that on. Next, I'm going to use a hydrating face milk. So I get these in some of my PR boxes. None of the products I'm using today are in advertisement, but I actually really do love these and I use them all the time as my actual primer and to prep for moisturizer and anything hydrating. But these work really well for me, so I love them. These are the Kkw Beauty Papaya face milks. I have a ton of these. They all smell super good. So I'm just gonna apply about that much, if you can see that, and a generous amount on my skin. Again, starting in the T-zone area and then trying to blend outwards. I'm just gonna put a little bit on my neck so that way I can get some skincare on that area too. And then next I'm gonna be using a little bit of eye cream. Of course, you can't forget this. My dog is sleeping underneath this and he's snoring. Next is eye cream. I'm going to be using the GlamGlow, what is it called? Bright Eyes? I don't know. I just like the packaging a lot and it works for me. So I'm going to put a little bit on my ring finger because it has the least amount of pressure and you don't want to tug on the eye area since it's really thin and it ages pretty fast. So just want to keep it nice and hydrated. And I'm just going to try to lift up into the orbital bone here and massage it into my temples. I'll just do this. You can use those little cooling eye rollers. I love those too. I actually do have one of those, but I forget that I have it. Sometimes at night, when I'm putting on my eye cream, I'll put it in my brows. So that way it can, help eyebrow hair grow. That's my thought process on it. All right, so for foundation, we're not gonna do anything heavy. You know, we don't have to do anything matte or full coverage. I'm actually gonna try to make it look like skin, but obviously match my body because this is tan, this is not. I'm gonna combine my usual foundation with something a little bit lighter. This is a tinted moisturizer, a radiant one with SPF because we're trying to use SPF in the summer so we don't ruin our skin here. I'm gonna do about like 2-to-1 ratio, a little bit more of the Nars Pure Radiant Tinted Moisturizer and just a dot of the Armani Luminous Silk. I use these separately, I use them together. The colors that I use, this is medium 1 St. Moritz in the Nars, and then the Luminous Silk I wear 6. Sometimes 6.5, but I feel like 6.5 is a little like orangey. This is more of like a olivey tone, so it doesn't look orange or pink on me. So let's combine these together. I'm just gonna do it in my hand because I don't have one of those like trays to mix. And on top of that, I'm gonna be using my damp beauty blender so I can get all of the angles of my face. Let's see, I do need a mirror with this. Oh my god, there's a dog hair. Listen, 3 animals, there's hair everywhere. So I'm gonna start in the center of my face kind of and blending out like I would with everything. And again, I don't wear primer with this because that face milk is my primer. Like my skincare is my primer. So I always prep my skin with skincare. I don't know if anyone noticed, but I got my nose done. That surgery was super easy, kind of scary easy. I posted about it too, like my whole journey, and really did not have a hard time with it. It was mainly for health reasons because I couldn't breathe out of one side. This side was closed shut, like absolutely shut, and every morning I always had like a migraine in my face and constantly slept with nose strips and had reoccurring sinus infections because I couldn't breathe or have any like airflow in my nose. So I did have it done, and he made it as natural as possible and not like that pinched look because he doesn't do that anyways. So yeah, so super easy. I got it like a couple days before Thanksgiving this year, and so it's been almost like 6 months, I think. Feel good about it. The only thing is I haven't been able to wear my nose because of masks. So I'm really excited when, you know, I can actually show it off, but I can today. Now for a little bit of a concealer moment. We're not gonna do a lot. I use my Ride or Die Born This Way Too Faced, was this the multi-use sculpting concealer in the shade Almond. I feel like this is a good shade for something a little bit brighter, that covers. There is a new technique that I've been seeing of concealer. I've been using it and it works really well for me. So instead of doing the full like V, cover all this, do that over here underneath the jawbones, it is really just like one, where it's, you know, needed. Cover any little blemishes here in the high planes of your eye. So that way you use less. Maybe a little bit here because I do have some red spots. So very minimal concealing. So I'm gonna leave that on for a couple minutes and then pat it away so that way it's not too sheer. If I were to go in with my beauty blender and then try to blend it out, it'll be really sheer, right? So I want a little bit of more coverage, so I'm gonna let it sit there and then blend it out. I don't know if that works with every concealer, but I know it works with this concealer for sure. So you can try it out to kind of see. Let's do some brows. Now, I have my brows done. So my normal day-to-day job, if you didn't know, I do powdered ombre brows. Now it's kind of like microblading, but you use a needle and machine with it, as opposed to like a manual tool with a ton of little prongs on there. It doesn't cut the skin like microblading does, it just shades the brows in really gently. And you just layer after layer some pigment on there, so that way you can either create a natural look, something like really bold that looks like makeup, if you want that, or more of like an ombre effect where it's light in the front and a little bit darker at the ends, so that way you can wear makeup with it or wear without makeup and it still looks really nice. So I have mine done. I barely put any product in it. It's been a while and I haven't gotten a touch up, but I barely put any product in it. When I do a full face, I do touch it up with a little bit of like powder or pencil if I need to, just because some foundation gets in my brows and I want to clean it up. But we're gonna do a little bit of that, just so you know why I barely use any product. and some clear brow gel to get a fluffy, filled in brow look, because it's really popular right now too, and I'm loving it on myself. So first I'm going to use my Morphe Rose Gold Collection R44 angled brush with a spoolie at the end. I'm just going to fluff my brow hairs up like so to kind of see what I'm working with, get rid of any product that might be in there. Use a little bit of concealer, and I'm just going to underline where my brows are already without putting product in there first. Just want to highlight a little bit. And then blend that downwards so that way there's not too much product. I just want a natural look. I'm not trying to go crazy. Go wild. Okay, but on the other side, see this side, I have less hair in certain areas, so that's why I do kind of fill in. And I'm actually just concealing the bottom part so that way the top up here can be fluffy and less harsh. Like I don't want it to look like an Instagram brow. I want it to look like fluffy, natural 2021 Instagram brow, not a 2019. All right, so I'm just gonna use a little bit of my Anastasia Brow Wiz in medium brown, so it's really light. I don't want it dark, because if I fill it in dark in like one spot, I'm gonna have to do that for the whole thing, and that's not gonna happen. At the arch, I feel like I need to fill in just a little bit, just wherever there's less hair. So that's enough, and now I'm gonna try to blend out my concealer because it's been sitting here for a while. And I'm just gonna pat and then blend this out. So that way you get the coverage, but I'm not adding too much makeup. So I have a little bit more coverage in the areas that I feel I need. Now let's pat everything down just so it doesn't get too sticky feeling. A couple options that you can use, you know, depending on what you like to use. So I have a loose powder and a pressed powder, and both of these I love. It just kind of depends on if I'm in a rush or not. If I've got more time, I'll do a loose powder. If I don't have a lot of time and I'm already late for work, pressed. The pressed one is a Too Faced Banana Cream Powder. It smells like bananas. It's delicious, but it's very much used and loved. So we're gonna use a little bit of that. And when I have a little bit more time, I'll use my Givenchy Prisme Powder. They have different colors. This one is the Satin Blanc, number 5. And it's got multiple colors in here to cancel out any pigmentation of the skin. So for this loose powder, I could use a brush, but I like to use these powder puffs because I feel like I don't waste as much product and it doesn't get everywhere. Like I literally will find product up my nose by the end of the day or in my hair, and it's very hard to get that out. So I'm gonna use a tiny bit from the cap of my product. Use a tiny bit at the tip here and then start where I need it. So I target where most of my pores are, which is my T-zone area, and then lightly blend outwards so that way I have lighter product on the outskirt of my face, but most of it where I need to. And this powder has a little bit of like reflex of shimmer and shine, which I like because I don't want it to be too matte or too powdery feeling. And the powder puff I use is from Kkw Beauty. For bronzers, I'm gonna mix 2 bronzers together because I feel like I get the best color from my skin, what I want. We're gonna be mixing 2 Fenty Beauty bronzers. One of them is darker, Caramel Cutie. The other one's a little bit lighter, is Private Island. And I just do a dab of both of these. I don't like too dark, but this is what they look like. Just so you know, Private Island, Caramel Cutie. For my bronzing brush, I'm gonna use my Morphe Rose Gold Collection R14 and just dip into both of these very lightly because I don't want a ton of bronzer and I want to make sure it doesn't go everywhere on my face. So I'm just going to hit the high planes here and blend that into my hairline. Just going to keep dabbing. Oops, too much. And for the bronzer, I'm just going to pat it in and blend instead of sweep because I don't want to sweep off a ton of, you know, my product underneath or look streaky. And then for my cheekbones, I'm gonna go a little bit higher. So instead of lower, I'm gonna go a little bit higher and hit the highest part of my cheekbones. So that way you give your face more of a lift. And dust just a little bit on my nose. We're not gonna do any like crazy nose contours. Just a little bit so it looks like I have some color. And then the excess on my jawline. So my go-to palettes right now, my ride or dies, if you will, are two palettes, same brand. This is the Kkw Beauty Matte Palette and also their Classic One eyeshadow palette. So this has mattes and shimmers, where obviously this just has matte eyeshadows, so it just kind of depends on what you want to use. I'll probably use the Classic One because I might want to add some shimmer to my look today. I'm going to go in with my Morphe R37 brush. It's a nice fluffy one, also from the Rose Gold collection. That's just the brushes that I use all the time. I'm going to dip into the paler yellow shade here. This one is Fade, I think. Fade? Okay. I don't really know my colors, like by the names, but just gonna dust that all over my eyelid. Doesn't have to be perfect. We're gonna do like a everyday, quick, easy one for summer. So that way you have a little bit of color if you do the full face, but nothing that you have to be a perfectionist about, which I love because sometimes I just want to throw in a little bit of eye contour and just call it a day. I'm gonna mix this peachy shade with this brown one together very lightly on a longer fluffy brush. If this were shorter, it's gonna give me a lot more pigment. So I wanna make sure that's a longer fluffy brush to work with. And I'm just gonna use the same brush for the full eye. So I'm gonna dab a little bit of that product off, and I'm just gonna start on the outskirts of my eye here, blend in a circular motion and back and forth to get in the crease of my eye. So it just contours the eye, gives it a little bit of color, but I don't have to be precise with it. Kind of like a smoky eye. I'm just gonna blend the rest of it outwards. Same thing on the other side. So you can use a brush, but honestly I just take my finger and I'm just gonna blend underneath so that way I get a little bit of color, but it blends for me because I'm using my finger. Cool. Don't judge me. I've always done that, especially with smoky eyes. That was like the quickest way to blend it without using a brush, because sometimes when I use like a short dense brush in that area, I feel like my eyes water really easily, so I try not to itch that area as much as I possibly can. So we're gonna use one more shade with the fluffy brush. I'm gonna mix these two darker shades down here, this like reddish brown and a darker brown, very lightly. So I'm just gonna apply this to the outskirts of my eye. I'm just gonna blend that so that way I have more of a light smoky effect to the outer part. And you could add this to the bottom lash part too, but I'm gonna keep it as is because I don't want it to be too dark of a look. And if you want to, you can pop in one of these shimmer shades in the front part here if you want a little bit of shimmer, but I'm gonna keep it matte for today. Now I'm going to go in with a dark brown liner instead of a black one. This one is a liquid felt tip, so that way I can apply the small wing liner a lot easier. I also like to use the brush tip ones too, so whatever is easiest for you to apply your liner, then go for it. I'm gonna start off at the inner corner here, and then connect it to the outside of my eye, and then fill in. So that way it gives you like a baby wing instead of something super dramatic. And this one is from Sephora. It's one of the waterproof felt liners. And I feel like these stay really well. This color is called Cup of Joe number 2. It's just their, I think they only have like one dark brown liner, but I like that one a lot. Then now time for mascara. So this is my favorite mascara. It's the Marc Jacobs one. They used to make a gel mascara, and I don't know if they make that anymore. That used to be my like number one. But I got this one because it was the closest one. This is the Velvet Noir number 10 mascara. I think they have brown too, which I wouldn't mind using. Just gonna do a little bit of mascara, not too much. I think it does look really pretty if you were to use like a chocolatey brown mascara. And I'm just gonna like dab on my lower lash line. I'm not gonna try to like wipe it, I'm just gonna dab it. So that way it gives me some definition, but not too much. Two blush options that I love, just depending on how much makeup I'm wearing, you know, where I'm going, and how long I'm gonna be out for. Pressed powder versus a liquid sheer blush color. Both of these are about the same shade, which I love. I like more of a warmer peachy tone to my blush instead of like a bright pink or purples or like a rosy tone. and that's just my personal preference. This one is the Becca Cosmetics Wild Honey, and the liquid is Dusk Cloud Paint from Glossier. Glossier? Pretty sure it's Glossier. But I love these both. So just depending on what you want to use, we're going to do some powder today. I'm going to use my Morphe R10 brush. I'm just going to apply a little bit on each side. Not too much because I don't want to leave like streak marks. So I'm just gonna go on the outskirts of the apple, not over here, but out here, and just blend it upwards into the bronzer so it all blends together. So I'm just gonna pat that in, go a little higher. Some people even put a little bit on their forehead here just for some color. It doesn't really look like much, but it does in person, if that makes sense. Just a little bit, and I guess you could put a little bit on the nose. So that way it gives you some color everywhere. It looks like it's a nice summery vibe going on. For highlighters, so you could use a ton of different options. The little liquid drops, the sprays, you know, the facial mists have a little bit of a shimmer to it, which I like too. Pressed powders, there's like those face jellies too. I have them all. But we're gonna use some powder and maybe a loose powder too, depending on how highlighted I wanna look. Two of my favorite highlighters are the Becca Cosmetics Champagne Pop. I just feel like this just fits me. It looks good on everything that, you know, every makeup look that I do, everything that I wear. And also a loose powder if I have time to do this, the Illuminati Diamond Glow powder from Artist Couture. I really do like their products. I'm trying them out too more often, but these are really cute. There's a ton of product in there and it's really well made. Let's try the Illuminati one. I'm gonna dampen my face with a brush of I'm gonna dampen my face first with a breath of fresh air from Lush, so that way my highlight can pop even more.
Oh boy.
That's good. Okay. For my loose highlighter, because this is very pigmented, I want to work with the cap. I try to work with the cap a lot with a lot of like loose powders, so that way I don't waste product. I have to like dump it out here, but you really can just work with what you have here. It's enough. For my highlight brush, I'm going to use the Morphe R36. This is a really good one to get the high planes, the nose, right here, eyebrows, wherever you gotta go. So I'm gonna dab this just a bit. I'm gonna apply it back here on the brows and around, so that way it just kind of blends my bronzer and my blush together. The other side. And a teensy bit on my nose. Not too much though. Now that I'm done with all the powders on my face, I'm gonna apply my brow gel to top it off so that way it doesn't get cakey with product. I just started using this, but I really love it. It's a 24-hour brow setter by Benefit. And I've seen a lot of people use it, and it looks like that lamination look for your brows, but it's wearable. You know, you don't have to use soap and water and do all that kind of stuff. You can have that same look and have it be fluffy, but not slick on the skin, because I feel like that's hard to not get product in it. If you can see that brush, it has longer bristles on the side, shorter ones here, and then a flat on each side. So you have different options of like what you want to create. I use the fluffier side here, and I'm just gonna brush my hairs upwards and just comb through the brows first with this gel. It's clear. I'm not sure if they make like a tinted one, but I like the clear one. And I'm just gonna keep brushing through, and you can actually go against the hair to fluff it up and then brush it back. So I'm just gonna keep focusing that motion and just do it until I'm happy with it. Because once this brow gel sets, it's like an all-day thing. So make sure you put it in the direction that you want your brows to go. So the next step, you could put some false eyelashes on, or individuals. I'm not going to today because I don't really want to wear some false lashes, but I just don't really want to worry about it when I'm going swimming or going to the beach or going out to dinner. The ones I would recommend, in case you do want to wear some, I really love the Sephora collection Luxe False Lashes. They are in a clear package like this. They're beautiful. They're super fluffy. I get a lot of uses out of them. This style is in a more. They have other ones too that are a little bit more full or natural, but this one has the more like cat eye effect, like smaller here and then it flicks outwards. These are the ones I would use, but I'm not gonna use them today. For lips, I have a ton of different options. I love to collect nude lip glosses, nude lip liners, nude lipsticks, lip tints, nude lip everything. So some options for you in case you want to try any of these out. I love lip gloss. However, it has to be non-sticky. I cannot deal with the stick. I've got longer hair. I don't want it in my face or when I'm eating and have to reapply and it just doesn't feel right. Some lip glosses that I really love are the Colourpop So Juicy collection. These have like a minty flavor to it because it's a plumping gloss. It's not extreme to where it burns your skin, but you do feel a little bit of that mint to it. But I don't mind it. It's not intense. There's a clear. If you want a clear one, this is called Princess Cut. Another good neutral pink is She's Here. I really like this one. And a little bit more peachy pink. It came in a kit, so it's a tiny one, and it's called The Hype. Really do like that one just for a little bit of color to my lips. Another brand that I think did so well with nude lip glosses and having good quality, good pigment, and non-sticky are the Kkw Beauty ones. I have quite a bit of them just because I couldn't tell online what colors they would run, so I kind of just bought a few of them to see what would work better for me. All three of these are really nice. This one is Nude 2.5, Nude 1.5, Nude 2. Nude 1.5 is more pink. Nude 2.5 is more of like a neutral, not brown, but like beige, I guess. And a little bit darker is the Nude 2, which I feel like the Nude 2 looks darker than the Nude 2.5. This has a little bit more color to it. But any of those work really nicely. You can also do the Kkw Beauty lip sticks. I have Peach number 1 and then 2.5 Nude, which is a little bit more pink. These are pretty light. I would wear them with a lip liner, but if I'm on the go, I don't really want to do a lip liner and have to worry about a lipstick. But in case you are going out and want to take the time to do that, these are really pretty shades. Another option in case you are more on the go and want something to just throw in your bag, this is very loved. It's called Just a Tint. The wording is kind of falling off, but it's another Colourpop product. And I do really like these because these are a jumbo stick and it just gives a tint to the lips without it being sticky or oily, glossy. It is, like it says it is just a tint, but it is really hydrating. So I do like these on the go. Honestly, I'll just put this on now. The wording is kind of scratched off, so I'm gonna leave it in the description. Oh wait, never mind, it's right here. It's called Island Time. This is a really good one. It smells like Starburst. Like it has a nice fruity smell to it, but again, it's just a tint. It's really easy and you don't have to be perfect about it. So I'm gonna wear this for today because it's easy for me to apply. Another option that I love is a more pigmented lip gloss that isn't sticky. The applicator is really easy to put on and you get a lot of product for it. Is the Artist Couture Uncensored 2.0. And it's more of a beigey neutral, but I have seen this on very fair to more rich complexion models and they look good on everyone. They have more colors that are more pigmented, like more purpley, more pink, but I do like this one for more of a beige look. And the applicator looks like this, so it's really easy to apply, get in the corners and the cupid's bow of the lips. This also has a minty smell to it, but it's not a plumping gloss, I don't think. Yeah, no, it just has that smell to it. For a summer glowy look on the body, there are a few options that I really love that I've tried out. So one of them, I've been using this for a while, is the iconic London Bronze Highlight Pan. So it comes with a giant fluffy brush. You brush it all over so that way you get all these colors and then you can just blend all over your body. That's one option. Another powder option that I love that also has a very sweet scent to it if you want to smell good is the Urban Decay Honey Scented Sparkling Body Powder. This is beautiful. It does have a really tiny little like puff pad here, so you're gonna have to like take your time to get every part of your décolleté or chest area. And then you just puff a little bit in here and boop, 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 boop. And then options, if you don't want to do a powder or take the time to do that, you could use body oils or body sprays that have more of a dewy finish to it. So one that I use is the Anastasia Dewy Set. This is just enough to make the skin look nice and hydrated, and you can also spray it on your décolleté too. That will also make it nice and pretty. If you want more of a body oil that you can spray on, I use the Patrick Ta Rosé Major Glow Body Oil, and this one has a little bit of fragrance to it, so if you're okay with that, then this looks beautiful on the skin. Today I'm going to do powder on my décolleté area, and then I'll probably just use a little bit of the body oil for like my arms, my hands, things like that, because I feel like that's a really dry area for me, but I don't want my chest to be sticky. I'm just gonna put a little bit on here. I don't know if you can see that in the, maybe? It looks really beautiful in person. It definitely has some sparkle to it, so if you're okay with that, then use it, but I definitely do, especially if I'm wearing like a bodysuit or a tank top. I'll also do some of the dewy set for my face, so that way I have some extra hydration to reset the powder. And then I'm just gonna try out this on my arms and hands, just a little bit. Okay, but this leaves a little bit of like a sparkly glow. It's actually not as oily as I thought it was gonna be. It's more of like a dry oil, so it doesn't have that like sticky texture to it. But I definitely do smell like the warm rose fragrance to it, so if you don't want perfume, this would be a good option too. Now that I have a little bit of glow to my body, I'm gonna finish up my hair and show you the full final look for summer. So this is the final look. I have loose waves in my hair and more summery, glowy, minimal makeup. The no makeup, makeup-ish look. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please like and subscribe if you want to see more videos from me. I say this every video, but I'm trying to make videos a little bit more often. I took off time from work this summer so that way I can actually do that and have fun. YouTube is fun for me. This is for fun. You know, I don't do this as a career, but I do like to make videos and just have a good time doing it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and please also follow me on Instagram, Twitter. I have a TikTok, I don't really use it, but the links are below in case you do want to check them out. Thank you, bye!